They say every neighborhood has a monster. Some hide in attics, some lurk in basements. Mine lived in a 5-bedroom stucco home with pink roses, a granite mailbox, and an HOA badge she wore like a crown. I never meant to wage a war. I never wanted a battlefield. But when a tyrant decides your backyard belongs to her kingdom, even a quiet man learns to fight. My name is Marcus Vale, and this is the story of how my private pool became ground zero for the strangest suburban uprising our town has ever seen. It all began at 10:00 a.m. on a blistering Saturday when 30 adults in matching teal wristbands marched through my side gate like they were storming a medieval fortress. They carried pool noodles like spears. A woman in a sun visor raised a megaphone and declared, triumph in her voice, "Welcome to the Copper Finch Community Pool." Then they all turned, stared at my pool and froze. Because instead of sparkling blue water, they found a sun-bleached, empty crater with an inflatable swan lying crooked on the dry drain like the remains of a shipwreck. Not a ripple, not a drop, just heat, dust, and consequences. The silence was so thick, you could butter bread with it. Let me rewind. I live in an old 1960s ranch house, not fancy, not flashy, but it came with a turquoise pool that realtors whispered about like it was a buried treasure. My property was built 10 years before the HOA even existed, which means my deed is private, separate, untouchable. Or so I thought. Next door sits the shiny overbuilt beehive known as Copper Finch Estates, ruled by HOA President Trina Moller, a woman with a stiff bob haircut that looked like it filed legal motions on its own time. Trina power walked past my home one morning, saw the glimmer of my pool, and decided that, for the good of the community, my backyard should be shared property. I laughed. Trina didn't. By the next day, she taped an official-looking schedule to my mailbox. Shared pool hours, effective immediately. Lap swim at 7, water aerobics at 6. A mysterious session called board-only sundeck time from 2 to 3 p.m., which sounded like a cult meeting with sunscreen. I crumpled the paper and moved on with my life. Or tried to. Because Trina escalated faster than a villain in season 2 of a Netflix show. She zip-tied a laminated HOA pool signed to my fence. Replaced my padlock with a glossy blue HOA lock. Installed a lifeguard chair in my backyard overnight. Dropped a stack of monogrammed CFCP towels on my patio. Drilled a realtor lockbox into my fence post. Posted the gate code in the HOA newsletter. I woke up and found strangers tanning on my pool deck like they owned timeshares on my concrete. She even ran a garden hose over my fence and filled my pool with city water 24/7 during a drought, which cost me $400 and could have cost me $1,000 in fines. When I shut the hose off, she rang my doorbell at 7 a.m. with a clipboard and an invoice for chemical maintenance owed to the community. It got worse. Trina started a rumor campaign. She told parents at the grocery store that I was hoarding community resources. She accused me online of skimming HOA money, even though I wasn't a member. She posted staged photos of sad kids pressing their faces to my fence with captions like, "This is what greed looks like." Then she committed her masterpiece of insanity. She sold $15 season passes with my address printed on them and made over 300 sales in a single week. She posted drone photos of my yard. She labeled my shed as a changing area. She labeled my outdoor kitchen as a refreshment zone. She even branded my pool CFCP, Copper Finch Community Pool, like she'd bought naming rights. Then, the moment I knew she had truly snapped, she posted a video tapping a city fire hydrant with a wrench to ensure proper water supply for our pool. That video would become my favorite piece of evidence in the world. The police came once, looked at my deed, shrugged, and left. But the City Water Authority, oh, they were very interested in unauthorized hydrant access during a drought. That was the turning point. That's when I said, enough. I gathered everything, screenshots, flyers, photos, the padlock, the hydrant video, the newsletters, the wristbands, the Facebook comments, and sent it all to City Code Enforcement, Water Authority, HOA's Property Management, and their insurance provider. That same week, enforcement officers removed the HOA signs from my fence like peeling a bad idea off a Band-Aid. The city called, promising hearings and fines. The insurance company left furious voicemails that I heard through the fence. The HOA board panicked. Meanwhile, quietly, I hired a licensed plumber with permits. And we drained my pool legally, overnight, into my sewer line. My lawyer friend sat in a lawn chair for proof. By sunrise, the pool was empty, a dry grey amphitheater. At the bottom, I placed one beach umbrella, one chalk sign reading, private property, not an HOA amenity. One rubber duck wearing a tiny sign, private duck. And that brings us back to 10 a.m., parade day, when Trina returned with a marching crowd, a portable grill, a birthday cake, a Bluetooth speaker, kids in swim goggles, and a rented party bus with pool day painted on the windows. She strutted in wearing a whistle and a president visor until she realized, until her smile cracked into horror. Kids gasped, parents shouted, one cried, "Who stole the water?" Then the city's water authority van rolled up, then code enforcement, then the exhausted HOA property manager, and in front of everyone, fines were announced. Words like illegal, tampering, hydrant, contamination, $10,000 bounced off my empty pool. Parents demanded refunds. The HOA board blamed Trina. Trina tried to make a speech, stepped backward, fell dramatically into the shallow end of my empty pool, and her megaphone died screaming like a dying robot. That was the end of Trina's empire. She was hit with criminal trespass charges, illegal hydrant fines, fraud for selling passes, HOA removal, 7-0 vote. And as she stormed out, a process server handed her a $75,000 lawsuit from furious families. She crumbled. That's where the original story ended. Epilogue 1 month later. Copper Finch Estates was never the same. Parents stopped whispering about me and started waving instead. Kids rode bikes past my driveway without fear. The HOA installed a new president, a normal one, thank God. And Trina. She moved out, sold her house. Last rumor said she joined a yoga retreat in Arizona to heal from toxic energies. Honestly, good for her, she needed it. As for me, I refilled my pool on my terms, crystal blue and quiet. No wristbands, no schedules, no megaphones, just peace. Sometimes I float on an inflatable swan, stare at the sky, and laugh at how insane life can get when the wrong person is handed a clipboard and a title. War changes people, but sometimes it also cleans house. I didn't win because I yelled. I won because I documented everything, and because I refused to surrender my home, my sanctuary, to someone else's fantasy. This is my property, my water, my peace. And it will stay that way. That was today's tale from Hoa Tales. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.